All right, coming up, we're going to talk with the CEO of a company that's developing a new technology to purify air. As the chief executive of Ship and Shore Environmental will join us next on how they're making offices safer for returning workers. This is Bloomberg. All right, thanks so much, Ritika. Let's stay on the latest on the virus. So one company that's now introducing new technology to help combat COVID-19 fears in the air we breathe. Joining us now is Anoosheh Oskouian, a Ship and Shore Environmental CEO. Ship and Shore makes and installs and services industrial air pollution capture and control systems. Anoosheh, it's good to talk to you. What do you do? What are you making that's going to help it make it safer for kids to go back to school and people to go back to work?
Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be able to share our technology with you. I would like to take a minute to perhaps give you a brief history as to what the company does and has been doing for over 20 years. Ship and Shore Environmental specializes in providing air pollution control systems for various industries, removing emissions and volatile organic compounds from any processing facility. And we have been hard at work trying to provide services as well as equipment to stay open and alive, to make sure they are providing all the packaging, all the material that needs to be out there to continue with the food processors, and so on and so forth. As a result of being very involved with clean air technologies for the years that we have been involved with the business, we realized that we have always had access to utilization of activated oxygen, or some call it ozone, for various means. And it has come to our forefront of technologies to repurpose ozone through introducing it on the air systems, which HVAC system with their return air, which is about 80% of the air that is being recycled. And through this process, we're able to bring a clean air free of any pollutants, any potential viruses, any potential germ and bacteria. And
okay. Anoosheh, how does this work? How does it compare with other systems? So over the last few weeks, we talked to a bunch of companies. Some of them are using UV light. Some of them are using chemicals like chlorine. Some of them are using just kind of huge volumes of air. Why does introducing ozone and splitting off the extra oxygen atom and using that to fight coronavirus, why does that work better than these other systems?
Well, one of the main interests that we had in introducing the ozone was to have with respect to using any chemicals. Anytime you use chemicals in order to clean the surfaces, or try to clean a body of air, you basically are leaving chemicals behind somehow, unless you were to go back in and remove the chemicals somehow. UV light, it's very localized. UV light, if you're holding a UV light or any apparatus that produces the ozone within that small space, it's extremely localized. It has to be held over the object or the surface, and it does not clean the air in which you breathe in. However, with utilization of ozone through proper design, which it has sensors, it has analyzers, because while people are within that given environment, you cannot introduce any more than 0.05 ppm, parts per million of ozone. And once you do that with the returned air, the recycled air through any HVAC system, you make sure there is nothing that is passed on from one person to the other, or from one area of the building to the other.
You do business all throughout the world, in Europe as well as Asia and in the U.S. What's the take-up of this? What do you expect?
We do have manufacturing facilities in China, and we do work in Thailand, as well as some of the other parts of the world. And they have all been very excited about what we have proposed and what we have designed, to the point that we want to make sure that we try to have systems installed here in US, and then eventually be able to share the technology with some of our companies in other parts of the world. As of now, most of the focus has been on US. Yes.
Is this now a bigger part of, can you see this becoming a bigger part of your business than it was before? Previously, the business was very much focused, and you opened Asian operations to deal with this, very much on the pollution front. Do you think this new side of the business of kind of making air clean and virus-free and bacteria-free becomes a bigger part of the business than maybe even your plans for the pollution side?
I believe we will stay with our core business, because that is still the mission of the company, to make sure we provide clean air for the world as much as we can, removing it from all industrial facilities. However, I believe this particular product line has many applications. It is already being used in the food industry. It is being used in some of the poultry businesses to make sure that the contaminations are removed. Therefore, I believe this will give us an opportunity to have growth on the other side of the business, which we have started as Ship and Shore Technologies, introducing new technologies and product line that would become a way of our new future, or getting back to some sort of a normalcy, in order to feel more comfortable to sit in closed rooms, arenas, schools, concert halls, and environments in which we always fear we may be catching something from a person next to us. We need to get back to be together again, and not necessarily fear from what the next person sitting to us may have.
Yeah, and I suspect that this is going to be a conversation that we're going to be having with one of our guests from Planet Fitness a little bit later on. He runs a gym. Anoosheh, thank you very much indeed. Anoosheh Oskouian, Ship and Shore